Welcome back. It's a love that stretched miles, overcame obstacles, and crossed borders, all for a child in need of a family. We sit down and talk with Dave and Jenny Mars. You may know them from Fix Her to Fabulous on HGTV, and that's this morning's Downtown Conversation. Jenny and Dave Mars, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I want to talk to you guys about family and faith and adoption and building a home. Not the way I think a lot of times you talk about building a home, but actually building a home for a family and creating that family. I'm going to jump ahead to 2012.
Okay.
And you're searching through profiles of potential children to adopt. And I read that you came across Sylvie and immediately knew this was our girl. I love that. Can you just explain that moment?
Well, we had actually been, we really weren't searching at that point. We were on a waiting list. I got an email from an agency that has kids that weren't placed, basically. So anyway, she was on that email, and I just knew. I never, it wasn't like I got these all the time and I was like, oh, it wasn't that at all. It was like, oh wow, this is our daughter. And so
we at first we didn't know the country that Sylvie was
they don't
from.
list any of that.
They don't list any of that. So you're just taking a big leap of faith that, like you literally have to start all over. And Jenny she called and said, this is her. I know it. This is her. And when she speaks like that, I just gotta listen. So gotta listen. And of course. I mean, it's perfect. But it was a long, hard process. We didn't realize what we were getting ourselves into, like the moment we said yes.
And so at that point, you adopted Sylvie. She's in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's August of 2013. So she's your legal child. But she's not with you, and there was a long time until she was with you.
Yes.
Explain that. I mean, that is a grueling process.
It's horrible. Yeah. So she was legally our child. She had her U.S. visa. She was ready to come home, essentially. And that's when we first met her. We didn't meet her until we knew the adoption was final, because everything is pretty
fluid.
Yeah, fluid in the Congo. So we were always nervous, like anything could fall through at any minute. And it did a lot for a lot of people, but it didn't. So she was legally ours, so we went and met her. And when we left her, and we knew we'd be back. We hoped we'd be back in like a month, maybe 2 months. And then right about, a couple weeks after we got home, I don't remember the exact timing, but they basically shut down all children leaving the country. There were about 700 kids in process at the time. We got her, she was in a foster home. We got her moved out of her orphanage, and so we knew she was somewhere safe, but still, it was not ideal conditions for your child.
Life changed for you July 9th, 2014, and I'm paraphrasing a post that you put up every year that I've seen multiple years, where you say 602 days of waiting, praying, pleading. You post that image every year to mark that date, and it is. You can't look at it and not feel the emotion as a mother and a father looking on. I'm even just thinking. I can see you too. That moment, Sylvie's finally in your arms.
Yes.
It
was a great moment.
You take that from here.
Great moment. I still get choked up about it because we didn't know, and Jenny, I think, tells it best. Like we had kind of gotten to the point where we're like, okay, this is not meant to be. We've gotten her into a good foster home, so we just need to, talk with Laura, who was her foster mom, about taking over care for her, and we would continue to, to pay for that care, but we were just kind of resigned to the fact that she wasn't going to come home.
We basically just decided, let's make sure we set a plan up, and let's just surrender control of this. And a couple weeks later was when we got a call, and it's Dr. Laura, our foster mom in Congo, and she said, Jenny, they're telling me to come to the DGM, the office, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So we got the letter. we bought Laura because so they gave Laura special permission to fly her home, and so Laura got on a plane the next day for the first time in her life. She'd never been on a plane. So when they landed, it was like the biggest, I always say it was the biggest exhale. It was just literally like, oh my gosh, she really made it. And it was one of those things I don't think either of us really believed was happening until she was actually in our arms. Like, you know, I didn't think it would really, was really happening.
And then it was, that was the one thing that went smoothly. Like, and Jenny had prayed that just let her be asleep, let her be, like, let me hold her, because, you know, it's a new person, it's new, and she was just sleeping, and when Laura passed her off to Jenny, it was like, okay, we did it.
Yes.
We did it.
Yes.
And of course, you can catch Dave and Jenny Mars on HGTV. Their show's called Fixer to Fabulous. Up next, it's more than a place to find those ripe tomatoes and juicy blueberries. We're going to bring you to the Bentonville Farmers Market next.